illness. Who wouldn't be anxious to talk about those things? I know that's not quite true. I am Erin Edgar. I am an estate planning attorney, and here are a few factlets about me in case you do not know who I am. I know there are some people that I have not met before, including Marianne and Juju. What a marvelous name. So I will give a little bit of information here. Obviously, you know I'm an estate planning attorney, but what you may not know is that I lived in France for a while. That story will come up as we talk, but I lived in France during my university years, and I almost did not come home to the US. I was very strongly tempted to stay. And as I said, I will go into that in a little more detail. But what I'm really here to talk about is estate planning for women, small business owners. And it is very important to keep in mind that we are the face of our businesses. We are the powerhouses behind our businesses. Let's see. Barnsley, you own your own business. And so, and I won't ask you to answer the question because you're driving, but when people want to know anything about you or your business, and they actually want to interact with you, they come to you. They don't come to an administrative assistant to set up an appointment. They don't come to a paralegal, or you're not an attorney, but a secretary. They come directly to you. You are the person who enrolls them, who tells them all about yourself, who manages the relationship from start to finish. And in a lot of cases, most women business owners are the same. So what do we do in cases where we're the face of our businesses and something happens to us? What happens to the business? I wonder if this is something that any of us have thought about before. I know I didn't before I went into business for myself. We didn't think about that. What would happen to our business? So clients will leave because they're not getting contacted, right? All these terrible things are going to happen. Clients will leave us. Clients will be confused and upset because we have not made arrangements for that. And above and beyond that, our families will be frustrated because they don't know what to do. They don't have really any legal rights to manage the business and manage the accounts. And they're stepping into a situation they don't know how to manage. And so all of your power is given away if you're not able to manage your business. It's given away to people who can't manage it. You give your clients the power to make the choice not to stay with you. And so what I'm saying is, in estate planning, to plan for yourself and your business and provide for your loved ones, you actually keep the power that you have to set your intentions for the future. Most people live in the now. They don't look towards the future to think about what might happen because it's too scary. They feel powerless. But what I'm here to tell you today, along with some myths around estate planning to explain how you give your power away, is that with this process, as painful as it might be to think about these situations, you actually get the opportunity to keep your power and lay out what you want to happen. You, as an individual, to make sure that your business is protected, your loved ones are protected, especially if you have kids. We'll get to that in a minute. And you are protected in case of illness or financial concerns if you're not able to make those decisions. So there are three separate ways in which people give their power away and postpone this process because they have these three false beliefs about estate planning. Number one, they don't know what it is, and so they believe that somehow wills and other documents like this are only made by the elderly. It's only important to have this if I'm old. And I'm not trying to speak pejoratively. I'm speaking in the way that I've had a lot of clients come to me and say, I don't know if I need this. I'm not old enough. Literally, I'm not old enough to have an estate plan. And I'm here to tell you that anyone over the age of 18 is old enough to start. I didn't think I was old enough either. Moving along in college, awesome time. Went to France to study abroad. It was fantastic until my bank account was frozen. Oops. All these foreign charges were coming into my bank, and they did not think they were legitimate. My cards were being used in a foreign country, so they froze my account. And all of a sudden, like, I couldn't pay my landlady my rent. I couldn't buy groceries at the grocery store because I did not have a foreign account. I wasn't staying there, so I didn't have a foreign account. And this happened very soon after I got there. It was like a couple of weeks. Well, kudos to the bank for keeping on top of things because the bank is trying to protect me from fraud. But at the same time, excuse me, I have obligations to my landlady. I have obligations. I mean, I have to eat. And I had nothing set up to allow someone else to make decisions about my finances while I was away, while I was gone, to catch these things and say, open the account. So what happens? I have real embarrassment. I'm like, I don't know why this isn't working. Like there's money in there. I make sure that it goes in every month. I call the bank and the bank says, we froze your account. And my mother was a co-signer. She knew what was going on because she could see the account, but she couldn't give them the authority to reactivate the account because she wasn't power of attorney. She didn't have any legal right to do that. So I'm calling the bank and I'm saying, oh, please reactivate my account, begging, I'm in this, stress. And they did it. But guess what, y'all? It happened 4 more times during a 9-month period. 4 more times. I'm in this situation. It was ridiculous. So anyone who thinks that you're not old enough to have an estate plan of some sort, you don't have to have the whole package if you're 18, but those power of attorney documents for finances and healthcare are very important. They are like your oxygen mask. These documents allow people to make decisions for you if you're not able to. And let me tell you something, you are not giving power away by creating powers of attorney. It has the word power in it in North Carolina. And it makes people think I'm giving away power to people to make my own decisions. Actually, you're not. You're accepting help. And that is the ultimate in keeping your power, because you are telling people, if I can't do this, please do it for me. People you love and trust, you are trusting yourself enough to know that you have discernment to know that you're not always going to be capable and in control 100% of the time. Nobody is, and guaranteed on death, we're definitely not in control. So when you get a little older, you get some property to your name, you're definitely going to want to consider a will along with these powers of attorney. And the will really sets out what you want done with that property. And beyond the property, it sets out who you want to receive it. Who do you love enough to ensure that your existence goes on beyond death? Who will receive these signals of your life? The property represents the memories you leave behind. Who do you want to have that? Who do you trust to deal with that honorably and responsibly in integrity? It's theirs, but who do you trust to do that? And you can perpetuate love by giving, these things to people. They are your memories that you give to them. And so that will is a list of your intentions. It is a powerful document. And I'm here to tell you, most attorneys talk to clients and they say, this is what you can do with your property and money. But I am here to tell you that this is more than a transaction. This is your way of setting out who you love and who you want to be, to have your back at your death, to make sure that that your intentions are met. So you appoint someone to administer your will, not only because it has to be done, but there's an additional layer, which is this is someone you trust enough to make sure all of your property is distributed to the people that you would want. and you respect them enough for them to do that. So your will is a document that lays out those intentions. Now you might be thinking, this is a once and done opportunity. Like I do estate planning and then it's done. Um, and a lot of attorneys present it that way. You do estate planning documents, it's 20 years down the road and things are different, but you think, oh, I still have the documents. Well, the problem is they get out of date just like everything does because your life journey changes. You may have different people in your life 20 years down the road. You want your documents updated for that, but you think, oh, I'll put it off until tomorrow. And this is where attorneys like myself come in. There are more of us, but there are few of us. We seek to maintain relationships with our clients during their lifetimes so that if you come to us at a relatively young age, you understand that this myth of I'm not old enough is not true. And you want to keep your power by laying out your intentions as they change. You come to us as you age, and we tell you, this is how we can help you. And I have plans, if you contact me, to help you throughout your entire life. I have your back. And if, of course, I'm not in business, I have made plans to make sure that an attorney is at your back who will help you in the same way I would. So those are things that we consider as estate planning attorneys who have these lifetime relationships with our clients. So if that's something that interests you, contact me and I will help you. This became a huge motivator for me because my grandmother died with an estate plan that was 20 years out of date. And it was the family who suffered for that because we didn't know what she would have wanted and we had some disputes and it was kind of rough. And I made it my decision when I went into business for myself 2 years ago that I would care for the families that came to me so that that would not happen to them. I didn't want that to happen to anyone, that stress after her death. I didn't want that to be the memory of the existence that my clients left behind. So all that to say, I'm not old enough to start my estate planning. That is completely false. And if you are worried about maintaining a relationship with an attorney through the changes in your life, I am the person you should come to because I will do that. The second myth that people have is that they're not rich enough to have an estate plan. Oh boy. What do I have to say about this one? So much. An estate is not a mansion with, I don't know, fields and woods and tenants who rent from you, which is how we think about it. An estate's a legal concept. It's just a container to hold your assets upon your death. It's a legal kind of fiction. You are no longer alive, but you've got things that you have left behind: furniture, clothes, a car, pets. How do you want those taken care of? It's more than stuff, though. An estate is your stories, insights, values. How do you want them expressed? So when we talk about this, I talked about a will before, but I also I want to talk about it again in the concept of leaving your things to those that you love and trust. And when I talk to clients, who do you believe is going to promulgate, in other words, carry forward the values that you have in the world? Who do you trust to do that? And money is the driver of impact. I heard that somewhere from a coach that I think is awesome. Not here on the phone, but one that Barnsley recommends, named Rachel Jane Groover. She said, money is the driver of impact. And that really landed with me because it made me realize that for myself, making my own plan, which I did when I started my business to have alignment, making my own plan, but also telling my clients how to create a plan so that they are as powerful as possible, so that their money goes to those people that they want to see carry forward the impacts they're making in the world. And everybody makes an impact in the world. I am telling you, everybody does it. Regardless of how much money you have, you may think, I can't change the world, but you're changing your little corner of it. So who is it that you want to carry that forward. Whatever you own, the value of the will is not just, I'm giving this person money. It's, I'm giving this person money because they have the values I want to see perpetuated in the world to change the world for the better, whatever that better might be for you. So that myth is false. You do have enough. And for women business owners, you definitely have enough because you have a business behind you. Oh, it may be a little business. How many times have I heard that? My business is a little business. Oh, please. Your business is you. It's your voice. It's your mission. It's your inspiration. Who do you want to carry that forward? And if you don't know, who do you know who does know? So we talk about this when I consult with business owners. We figure it out. And it's not your job to know these things. I explain this to people all the time. It's not your job to know these things when you come to me. You don't have to know what you need. You don't have to know who is most important in your life. You need to know on a subconscious level, but it doesn't have to be forefront in your brain, because it's my job to ask you those questions and to have these deep conversations with you in such a way that you'll figure it out. And people are amazed. They're like, I didn't know I had this much when I signed up with you. I didn't know I had these people in my life when I signed up with you. That's amazing. Now I know this. I feel so much better. That's the job of the lawyer. And the lawyer is, we are also counselors of law. We're not therapists. And yet we have an important function as estate planning attorneys to help you figure out what you do have in your life, what abundance you do have. And I'm not just talking about money, I'm talking about people and other supports in your life, other causes you might want to give to, etc. So that myth is false. Bam, down the tubes. You always have enough to start the planning process and to continue forward, because we never know what the future will bring. The last myth that I'll talk about today is I don't have enough money and time. The investment isn't worth it, for instance. I don't have enough to make the investment worth it, which is kind of different from I don't have enough to leave behind. This is I don't have enough to start the process. I was with a client the other day and I said to him, what is it that is holding you back? And he said, this process just sounds too hard. I don't have enough time. I really don't know if that it's worth the cost. And I said to him, okay, here's the skinny on that, so to speak. If you decide to put it off and you decide that if you're going to do it, you'll do it kind of half-heartedly because you think you have to, you'll never do it. It will never be the right time. You will never get it done in a way that is satisfying for you. The fact that you are here now tells me that you are open to the possibility of considering getting this done. And here's what's going on. You think you don't have enough time or money to make the investment worth your while, and it will never be the right time. So keep that in mind. Number two, you think it will be a real struggle for you. You'll have to take a whole bunch of time out of your schedule, a whole bunch of meetings with an attorney, just a real struggle. I'll tell you this, it will be a kind of a struggle sort of to get this done. I mean, we'll have a 6-week process, maybe 2-month process, depending on what ends up happening. But it is going to be so much easier on your family if you make the investment of time right now to get this done, because after your death, the court takes over. If you never get it done, the court will take over and plod along. And even if you think you have a simple estate, I am guaranteeing you, the court is going to make it a lot harder for your family. Everything is a public record. The court does everything and funnels, knows what you owned during your life, knows who's important in your life, funnels everything through its system. It does it to protect you because you haven't protected yourself with planning. And if you plan, there's a little bit of court involvement, but it's not going to take 2 years, like standard 18 months to 2 years, North Carolina probate. It may take 6 months, 9 months at the outset. That is a lot less stress on your family and your loved ones than, than the usual nothing done. If you think that you don't have enough money to make the investment right now, and you may not, and that is totally your decision, let me tell you about the investment that happens after your death, because court is going to take something of what you have. And if you don't plan properly, with the assistance of a knowledgeable and compassionate, dare I say, interested attorney, you will be paying, your estate will be paying money to creditors and other folks in the court before anyone that you love receives a dime. And this is the way that it works. And often the investment upfront for you to do this is much less than it is going to be for your estate at the end of your life, because your estate pays for this stuff. And also there are attorney fees that your family will have that they can charge to the estate, and just on and on. So I talk to clients about this all the time, and it's not pejorative. I don't say it in a judgmental way, but I allow them the space to have the curiosity to consider that it might be best to do this upfront. So the fact that you don't have enough time or money to make the investment worth your while right now may not be true for you. And if you're really concerned about the money, most attorneys have payment plans that they can organize, and we can discuss that. So attorneys are flexible, and time and money are more flexible than you think on your end. So that myth is really not true either. So to recap, we give our power away by believing in these three myths around estate planning. I'm not old enough, so we put it off, and we put the power in the hands of the bank. I'm not rich enough, so we put it off, and we put the power in the hands of other people and the court. I'm not rich or sick enough. Sick is another problem. We'll put the power in the hands of the doctors. I don't have enough time or money to make it worth it to me to do this now. So we put the power again in the hands of other people, primarily the court. And the law does not have a very good backup plan for you if you do not plan. So with the help of an experienced attorney who is knowledgeable and allows you the deep space to answer questions that you may not know the answers to and guides you through the process, you can help to keep your power, to make sure your intentions are honored. And with a little bit of upfront investment, you can get this all done now so that your loved ones do not have to carry memories of stress forward after your life, to have those be the chief ways that they remember you. Thank you all very much, and I will open it up for questions now. We do have a little bit of time.
Juju, you had a question?
I do. Erin, thank you so much. That was fantastic. So my question is, I'm a homeowner and a single woman, and I have adult and older teenage children. I think I would like to put my home